Okay, just hit the live button, so I just got to give this a second, make sure it pops up over here on YouTube. There is a bit of a delay for anybody that does this regularly. You know how that whole thing works. So just gonna give that a second before I go getting into things. There's the little email saying something's live on the channel, and now just waiting on this here channel to actually show it. And there it is. Cool. So it looks like we're good. What's going on, people? So obviously you may have seen that the timing was set for 1 p.m., which is a good 7 minutes or so from now. But the thing is, I had a few things to say before getting on into this, and I like to make sure my lives start pretty close to on time. So I figure if I just get this going now, when it comes to 1, I can just jump right into this whole recap thing. Maybe by then some notifications will have gone out and people will be in here, whatever. Here's the thing. So you can say you probably noticed that I was not doing this here YouTube thing for it's only like a week or so. Every so often, I like to take my breaks because you go in, you do this day in, day out for a while, and at least for me, it just kind of gets to the point where it's like, yeah, I don't feel like doing it right now. So then I don't. Right? It's pretty much just that simple. Because at the end of the day, the thing is, and as I've said many times in the past, I'm not a huge shoe person in the way that a lot of people are. There are probably people that watch my videos, people that will be in the chats and all this later, that are like way more into this stuff than I am. I am a casual buyer. I just happen to have, and I'm not saying I have like big money over here, but I just happen to have a little bit more money to just kind of throw away. So I buy more shoes than your average person. And then I talk about them because why not? So it kind of comes off maybe that I'm like a big shoe dude. I'm not. I'd rather be talking about wrestling or music or comic books, any of those things, like any day. Because the shoe thing, like after a little while, I just kind of get bored with it, because it's very repetitive. And I just kind of like every week, it's like, oh, shoes are coming out. They're going to be hard to get. Okay, whatever. Like next week, oh, shoes are coming out. They're going to be hard to get. It's like, yeah, we went through this last week. At least with wrestling, there's like a bit of a difference. There's different pushes happening and different people are going through different things. Like, oh man, so and so signed to this. Now, oh, did you see this? So and so's out. Now we're having this match. It becomes different. It's a little more entertaining to me. So going back to this, after enough time passes, I generally just think to myself, okay, I've put out a bunch of videos. People have something to watch. I'm going to go do something else for a while. So for the last week, mostly just been kind of sitting around watching wrestling for the most part, catching up on some things. Apparently there's a whole bunch of new episodes of The Flash out. Didn't know that. So I've been doing that. Finished off The Boys, right? And somewhere in the middle of all this, I have been receiving shoes, and I've been on Instagram, kind of like semi-active on there. I'm not good at Instagram. So I've been doing that thing too. And now I was thinking, okay, well, the first of the month or the first Sunday of the month is coming around, so may as well get back into things, start doing this here recap show or whatever. And honestly, had it not been for this recap timing, I'd probably still not be doing reviews right now. But things work the way they work. I recorded 2 earlier, so I'll be editing those. They'll go out tomorrow and probably Tuesday, maybe both tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Because I got to prevent this backlog. I got a lot of stuff coming in. These tracking numbers, they're relentless, but it's mostly my fault. But anyways, that being said, I think I've covered everything I've needed to, right? Talked about where I've been, which was basically here. Why I haven't been doing this, which is because I was bored. And so now I think we're good. So now I can acknowledge the people that have said things in the chat. So let's see what's going on in there. OG Kicks 45, salute shoes up. That's me. So hello to you too. And Robert Valentine, he says, hey, shoes up. That's me again. Hey to you too. And then, hey, it's Josh. This man's name might be Josh. Hey man, I like your sense of humor. Thanks. I am indifferent to my sense of humor. So OG Kicks 45 says, shoes, I'm thinking Roman is going to pin Daniel Bryan on WrestleMania and Edge is going to be like, you still the champion, you didn't beat me, your thoughts. Well, my first thought is, why are you yelling? I'm not sure what the all caps is all about. But as far as the WrestleMania thing goes, because we still got a few minutes before recap time kicks in. As far as the WrestleMania thing goes, I kind of hate this whole three-way thing only because I often see it as a cop-out. Sometimes the three-way matches, it's like, oh, wow, this makes perfect sense. It's like you want to see which way is it going to go. In this case, I feel like they're trying to get the belt off of Roman Reigns without necessarily beating Roman Reigns. I don't buy into that. I'm not a fan of the man. I haven't been a fan of the man for a while. I will acknowledge that he is doing the best he's been doing in a while, but that doesn't mean I have to like him. So I would like to see him lose. How it happens, I don't care. I just want someone else to walk out of that night with that title. Speaking of, if I can time things right, I'll probably be going live for the NXT nights and the WrestleMania nights, I think. But I'll figure that out later. So if I am, it'll basically be me sitting here watching the show while people also comment along with me. Not necessarily like a reaction video, but more like just my underwhelmed commentary as I watch things that I'm not into. Because I feel like it's going to be a bit of a letdown, to be completely honest. Like overall WrestleMania, just because things have mostly felt like letdowns for the last year or so. You know, there's a whole atmosphere that's just missing. I made a mini rant about that on a post I made on Instagram earlier today. Let's see. Hello, happy Easter. Same to you, Thomas MB, if you celebrate Easter. And that's the way I type. Oh, okay. Well, all right. Do you, dude. Don't let me stop you. I mean, if it's working out for you, that's all that matters. It's just when I see like that, I'm like, man, what is going on here? Why is it so intense all of a sudden? Keith Lee not having a match at WrestleMania. Yes, I don't get that. Like, now maybe there's an explanation, right? And maybe in like months later, it'll come up on some sort of like Stone Cold podcast. But yeah, man, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And then we'll go, oh, wow, I didn't know that. He had a bad disc in his back or whatever the case is. But for now, it seems inexcusable because he's just been gone for so long, you know? And even in times when people do have issues, usually something comes out where it's like, oh, this is the reason he's not around. This thing is going on. With him right now, no, he's just not there. And it's weird. Let's see. Let me start pulling this screen up so I can start getting into this recap. Let's see. Make sure I got that over here so I can still keep an eye on the chat. You know, I like to know what you guys are saying. Kind of lets me know, you know, helps keep the conversation moving by watching what you guys are saying. And then I get an idea for what people think of things. That's really the reason I do this stuff. Because like 9 times out of 10, I'm probably going to dislike the shoe that I like passed through on here. Even if I bought it, I might not like it a lot. But I like to know what other people think. And I find that the recaps are a lot more beneficial in some ways than the previews, because release dates change, things happen, right? At least this way you can look at, oh, I didn't know those came out, and maybe I can go look for them. Maybe, you know, they'll be cheaper now or something than they were when they initially released, because, you know, resale prices work the way they work. But it is, oh yeah, I meant to paste this thing in the chat. One more second here. There's that link. Go ahead and pin this thing. When I was doing my little rambling earlier, I didn't want to be interrupted, so, you know, didn't put the link in. But it's there now. If anybody happens to want to jump in, you are more than welcome. Have an open door policy. So let's go ahead and talk about these here shoes. If I can resize this just a little bit. So first up, and these aren't in any particular order. They're just in the order to where they're grouped, you know. So like there's Air Maxes all together. There's Yeezys all together. But since it was Air Max month, I figure it makes sense to put the Air Maxes first. So right off the top, you got these two here. The Valentine's Day and the St. Patrick's Day pack. Well, I won't say it was a pack, but they both came out around the same time. And I gotta say, if they didn't have the detailing that makes them specific to the holidays, kind of like how the green pair has the little etched in clovers and the pink pair has the little heart-shaped eye or lacelet things or whatever you call that, the lace holes. Yeah, if neither pair had that and they were just that color, cool, right? But the stuff that makes them holiday specific makes me not want them, because then I feel like you can only really wear them one day a year. Let's see. Didn't get a single Yeezy last month. Got the HU and NMD triple black. Did those triple black ones come out last month, or did you just buy them last month? Because I remember seeing a pink pair, but not a black pair. Let's see. And he's saying the St. Patrick's Day 90s is a bit too green for me. It is a lot of green. It really is. You'd have to definitely like give some thought to what you're wearing up top as far as pants and shirts go. Because I mean, I get the whole matching thing, but if you try to match green with that, like, then you're gonna come off with, you're gonna look like that Lucky Charms guy or something, you know? And that's not necessarily what I would want. Maybe that's what you want, though. And let's see, there was the bacons. Now this one's fine. Like, it's not like it has like little pieces of bacon on it to make you think, oh yeah, it's for National Bacon Day or something. It's just a standard Air Max 90 with some colors in it that make you think a certain thing, you know? And that's what I was getting at with like those holiday ones. You know, if they were more like this, it'd be cool. That said, I don't care for the bacons personally. The colors aren't necessarily bad. I had no interest in them. When these were coming around and people were like, oh yeah, you gotta get the bacons, I was like, yeah, you can have them. That was it. It was like, that's all you, dude. Go for it. Be happy. Let's see, released on confirmed in March. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't always pay a lot of attention to sneaker releases for all the reasons that I was kind of mentioning before this thing started. I like, if I open the Adidas thing, like, or the confirmed thing, and there's some stuff in there, it's like, oh, click on this raffle. It's like, that's usually how I find out about stuff. And every so often, I'll get bored enough to go to like sneaker news or something, and I'll see something. Usually, when it grabs my interest, it's just a random Ultra Boost. Like, oh wow, I like that color. It's not even like it's special, you know? Like those, what's that I bought? The 424 Arsenals. Those, yeah. I mean, initially it was just the colors that I liked. I don't know. I'm still not entirely sure what 424 is. The Air Max 90 EOI, Evolution of Icons. I got the 97 version because it looks pretty nice, you know. But this one, the way they did that blocking on the back, where it's like the gray, the darker gray, the slightly darker gray, and then the darkest gray, those I'm not a huge fan of. There was a release for Air Max Day in the past that had like all the animal types or something like that, and it was done in that same little block format. Didn't like it then, don't like it now, won't like it ever. That's my stance on that. Now, what you guys think, let's see. I don't see anybody saying anything in the chat just yet, but yeah, those 90s, those ones in the middle of the page as it is right now, I just couldn't get into those. I don't like anything about them, honestly. Like, it's just a swing and a miss, like a huge miss. It's like imagine you swing and the ball hasn't even been thrown yet. It's that big of a miss for me. Now these, I'm not entirely sure if these actually came out. They might have come out and done one of those like overseas releases, because sometimes those come along before the stateside releases, or maybe they were just like region exclusives. I don't know. I went by Kicks on Fire. That's where I download these pictures from. And just look at their past calendar and just go from there. But I do like that top pair. I believe that's called the Rice Ball. And the lower ones, I forget what the name is, but no, it just reminds me of like Warning Tape or something like that. It's something about it just isn't good. I don't know. I just don't like it. You know, that silvery swoosh, not a big fan of that. That Air Max thing on the top where it's, you know, like right there above the swoosh, kind of reminds me of like the old Batman show where like words pop up. It's like boom, bam, bow, you know. It reminds me of that, and I don't like that. At least not on here. You know, on that show it's fine, it made sense. On here it doesn't. I don't like that orange. I just don't like that shoe, like top to bottom. Not to sound negative, but it is what it is. Sometimes you just don't like stuff. People are messaging me about things I don't care about. All right, let's keep this thing moving, right? There's a lot of, okay. These, once again, like, remember earlier when I was saying there's probably going to be a lot of shoes and I'm going to like dislike a lot of them? That's why I usually have other people in here, because they will be like, oh yeah, I like these and blah, blah, blah. It kind of breaks up the negativity. But these here, starting with the top, I don't like those. The colors, don't get me wrong, the colors are fine. If you just took those colors and just made that a standard Air Max, no problem there. But that see-through nonsense going on the toe box and stuff, like, can't stand it. Can't stand it at all. And I'm not sure that I'm on board with whatever's happening in that swoosh area, because that's looking like a mess too. Hey, Jeezy, what's going on, man? Hope things are going on fine in your neck of the woods. Hopefully you're enjoying your day and not stuck at work or something. Because I know that's a trend for a lot of people. It happens. Let's see. The Swarovski 97s. I assume these came out. I saw them on the sneakers thing a few weeks ago. That, I just don't. No. It's a no for me. And not just because of the price. It's because of the gaudiness of it all. They look bad, right? So, I mean, the color, again, it's one of those situations where the coloring is fine, but past that, it's just not okay. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay, so last Air Max of the group, the air structure. Now this one I can kind of get behind. Wait, what's he saying? The unfortunate part is if I'm not at work, something goes wrong, so I'm heading there now. Wow. So basically you need to live at work, like the kids in Bob's Burgers. Well, the whole family on Bob's Burgers lives in the restaurant or above it. You should just live above your store. That way you're there, and you probably be able to get a little bit more time to yourself. Now, these here, the air structures, right? I saw these and I thought to myself, like, okay, these aren't bad. I think they sold out. It was one of those ones where I was like, okay, if these stick around, like, I'd like to try them out, but I don't want to buy them now because there might be other stuff that I want to buy more. So there was that. But they seem like they could be all right. I don't know if anybody in here got those or not. And just to switch things up, there are some Pumas that I threw in here. In a way, they remind me of I don't know if anybody is familiar with the Adidas Oswego, but they kind of remind me of that, just with like the weird piping on the side and like the chunky soles and all that stuff. It just kind of reminds me of those. I don't really want them, but I figure I should at least throw something in here that's not just the standard Nikes and Jordans and Yeezys. So there's that. On the other end of the spectrum also, there was a pair of Reebok, what was this, the Why Not Us? I think that's what these were called. Now, I do like the way these look, but I didn't want to pay full price for them. And they might still be in stock in some places, and maybe there's like discount codes floating around, because it is coming up on spring, and well, it is spring, so there might be some spring sales. But overall, I just looked at them and I thought to myself, these are too plain to go for right now. If they come down in price or something, maybe. But again, you don't want to spend too much money too early, because then you'll have none later, and there might be something that pops up that was unexpected, or maybe just something that you wanted in the past that comes back around for the restock. So I'll probably never have these, and that's fine. I probably wouldn't wear them too much anyway. I got a lot of shoes, people. So again, getting time to wear all of them becomes a bit of an issue. It really does. Now, let's see. This here, the Saucony End something or other. I forget what the name is and all that stuff, but who is it? Anthony Levine has a pair of these. And these things, it's definitely an acquired taste. I'm not sure how I feel about them, because like from certain angles, they look weird, but from other angles, they look fine. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it looks like overall it might be a little too much going on for me. I'm just not sure how I feel about them because not everything that I don't buy is something I don't like. It's just sometimes I like the stuff to an extent. It's just not my style. And now the Jordan section. I don't know how many there are. Hopefully not too many because it's there's usually so many of these things that like just keeping up with them it just becomes a mess. But going off the top here, so these two I did actually kind of like. Mostly that top one. The Georgetown Threes. I was cool with those, right? I didn't try very hard for them. I put in some raffles on like Adidas, not Adidas, like on Foot Locker and Champs and Foot Action. I didn't even put any head starts in. I just clicked on it just enough to say, okay, if I get chosen, this is the size I want. But then later, looking at people's reviews and stuff, I'm like, okay, maybe I should have tried a little harder for those because I did actually like them a fair amount. It was one of the first threes that I've liked in a long, long time. I want to say the last pair that I was really into was the black cement threes, and that was years ago. But these, I saw them, and I just kind of didn't put in the effort to get them. But it seems like had I put in that effort, it would have been a problem because I saw a lot of people get those. Now these though, the Stealth Fives, those I was somewhat on the fence on because I do like the way they look, but at the same time, it's a little too much white for me because I'm not a big white shoe guy. So I saw these and I like the silver and the blue. I like just the way this whole thing comes together. But I put in my little raffles. I think I put in for some head starts as well. I'm not 100% sure. It just didn't really work out, which was fine because, again, I have a lot of shoes already. So when I don't get something, it's like, all right, there's already something that I haven't worn yet, and there's probably something later that I will get. So things have a way of balancing themselves out. So I try not to think too much about it. But these fire red 35s, the 35, it's kind of a weird shoe because I've seen people do reviews of these, and I've thought to myself, like, these actually look pretty decent. But I saw a pair in the store recently, and something about the way the shoe looks is odd. Like, just like the shape of it is what I mean. The design, I do actually like the design, but something about the way it's shaped. I don't know. I just like every inclination I had to pick up a pair completely gone as when I saw them in person. So now I'm thinking I won't, which is, so I may have dodged a bullet by not jumping in on a pair of these at some point. But well, as I said before, I tend to top out at 12 anyway when it comes to the Jordans, because to me that's as high as I need to go. So I think I'll just be sticking to that rule, guideline or whatever. But these not in this particular colorway, but these did have a bit of my attention. I saw DB Kicks do a review of a different color, but apparently it's like a React midsole, and I'm all about that React midsole because it's super comfortable. And the upper is supposed to be super breathable. So it looks similar to the 87, maybe like the 270 React as well. Kind of reminds me of one of those or both of those. So I wouldn't mind trying it out. And in some ways, it kind of like has some elements of the React Vision or maybe that 270 NRG. But either way, these are supposed to be very comfortable. It's just that I haven't seen them in any colors that I want other than that first colorway. But when I found out about that one, it was months later or something, and it was already well sold out. So I was like, well, maybe this will be one of those recurring things, and I'll just look for another color. And I mean, they have come back, but they just haven't come back in any colors that I want. This is not bad, but it's just, again, it's just not for me. So I had to just kind of say no to that. See if anything was in the chat here. I definitely like the 35s, but the Stealth 5s were definitely a pass. See, yeah, I mean, and I can see that because I like them, but it's an easy enough one to get over not getting the Stealth 5s. Because again, like I have other fives that I truly wanted and have not worn yet, like those grape ones or the something else. There's another pair of fives I feel like I got recently, but I don't know, maybe I didn't. It's hard to keep track of all these releases and the ones you buy. These, what is this? This is the Ash Stone. No, the Ash Pearl. So the Ash Pearl Yeezy 350 came out this month. It's not bad, but the pictures make them look so much better than they did in person. That's just my opinion. I mean, obviously, I talk a lot of trash about the 350s and that I don't like all of them a whole lot, but for what they are comfortable, so if I can get them, I'll get them. But I'm not going to sing their praises because you still got to be honest with the people that are watching your videos, right? You don't want to sell them on something because make them think it's going to be great. And then they get it and it's like, it's okay, right? But this one, I don't know. Like a lot of people initially, when I posted that review, they were like, it's fine, but no, thank you. That was the general thought of everybody. And eventually somebody, I think like P-Town came around. He's like, I like these, but he also likes the Jordan 2. So nah, I take those shots at him once in a while. If he was here, he'd probably go along with it, but he's probably not. Either way, the 380 Covalite. I don't know if I'm saying that right because I don't know if I'm ever saying any Yeezy release right. But here's the thing. These came out. They did not sell out, which is a good thing, right? Because that means you can get them. You can give some thought to it. Like, do I really want this? Because when you're just kind of like pressed for time, was like gun to your head, like, do you want to buy this or what? It's like, yeah, sure, well, I'll do it, whatever. When you have time to think about it, you can look at it and like, you know what? Maybe I don't really care for that brown on there, right? But these came, they sat, they eventually did sell out, but of course everybody would look at that and go, oh man, told you like the 380s, Yeezys are dead. What's going on here? Is this a big deal? It's like, no, it's not a big deal. It's a shoe. Not every shoe just flies off shelves. Get over it. These, I mean, I'd have to see them in person, but for now, personal opinion, yeah, whatever. And this, the 450, I think it's 450. I don't know, man. Like, it looks like it would feel weird to wear these. Very weird. And it seems like they just look weird on feet too. I haven't watched any reviews, so I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't heard anybody's opinion. Yeah, something about the way this thing looks, it's just like, I remember seeing pictures of this a while ago. I was like, is that really gonna happen? Like they're really gonna make this thing? And here we are. Like it exists. It's out there in the world now. For better or for worse, it's a thing. But as with a lot of stuff, if it comes up in the right color, or I'm just able to get one, I'll get one at some point and make my own opinion. And then it'll probably just go into like slide territory where I just wear it around the apartment, but it never really goes outside. Because that's what these look like they're good for. Just wearing around the home when you're like, maybe so your feet don't get cold, I guess. Now this, the 700 V2 in the cream colorway. I won these through the Confirmed app, and I was very surprised that I liked them as much as I did, because I looked at the pictures initially and I was like, these don't really look that great. It was JJ All Day who actually got my mind on them initially, because he had asked me, like, hey, are you going to try for these? I was like, no, I'm not. But if you want me to put in for you, let me know what size. And then he's like, oh, no, they're 300. Never mind. I'm like, oh, no, thank you to that for me too. But then I saw that they were only 240. Well, only 240. And I'm thinking, okay, let's give it a shot. Let's see what we see, right? So I put in the 9.5 and then Confirmed was like, here you go. And I got them, and I didn't think that I would initially, keep them. But when I opened the box and looked at them, I was like, okay, these are pretty nice. And if you saw the review I did the 3M shots, like for the on feet, and they look really cool with like the 3M thing going on. So I'm not going to say I'm like a huge fan of the 700 V2 now, but this pair did change my opinion just a bit and makes me a little more open to them. which is part of the reason I buy some stuff. Let's see. I would have loved a pair of creams. Oh, hey man, like this one, I was dead wrong on these, and I'll admit that. I really thought that they were going to, I won't say sit, but like be easy by Yeezy standards, right? Meaning like if you put in the effort, you'll probably get what you're looking for. But it seemed like a lot of people came up empty-handed on these. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just not looking at all the right people, but it seemed like some people wanted these, and a lot of them didn't get it. So don't feel too bad, dude. I don't know, and I don't know if you're like a resale guy or whatever, but maybe the price isn't too bad on them, or you can just try for the next thing and maybe trade. Because I honestly feel like that's what a lot of people do. Like, if anybody knows anybody out there, right? I'm still trying to get a 9.5 in the Marsh and or Sulfur 350. So if you want to trade something, I got some stuff that I could potentially trade for it. Because every now and then I'll get an extra pair of 350s just for that. You know what I'm saying? Just to hope that the price goes up and then that I can trade for something. And you actually tried really. See, now and I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, it's good to try, right? Though trying is one of the leading causes to failure. I will put that out too. But here's the thing, in all seriousness, like when you try for something, like, and you put in all that extra effort, it does really make it like that much worse when you don't get it, especially when you feel like you should. Like if you scour the globe and you put in raffles on all these stateside and overseas sites, and then the end result is just you not getting anything, that, yeah, it's a bit of a kick in the teeth, as they say. So I totally get where you're coming from. These right here. Now, most people that know me would probably assume that I have a pair or both of these on their way in the mail. No, I do not. And it's not necessarily because they look kind of weird to me. It's mostly because I misread the raffle time and I thought it opened at 9, but it actually closed at 9. So I didn't put in for either of them. And the other thing is, like, had I put in for those, I probably would have got one or both, because I saw a lot of people getting through on these, like a lot of people. So it's one of those things that maybe it would have happened, but it's nothing I can do now, I mean, well, I can go back and try to buy them off of those other sites and stuff, but it's not that serious, not at all. I'm just going to hope that the next round of colors goes smoother. This was the Yeezy Quantum and some kind of teal or something like that. I do not like anything about the visual of this shoe. Like, nothing at all. And just everything about it just tells me to go and just buy something else. I don't know what it is. I know there's some people that are like, oh man, the Quantums, they're really good, blah, blah, blah. And that's cool. But the thing is, no matter what shoe you talk about, somebody's going to like it, like P-Town and those Jordan 2s. But again, when I look at these, I'm just like, no, like firm no, hard pass, whatever you want to say. So we're going to keep on scrolling. What is this? This was like the All-Star Dunk, I think it was, something like that. I think they look kind of decent colorway wise, but on these, I'm not sure how I feel about that design. See that design in the black areas where it's kind of got that swirly sort of thing going on. In some ways, it reminds me of certain parts of the Doernbecher 7, but overall, I just look at these and I think to myself, I'm good. I'm definitely good without this, I mean, I put in a raffle because that's a thing that I do, but no, it's one of those things, right? When I didn't win, in a way, I felt relieved, because I was like, okay, because I would have paid the money for them, and I feel like I would have got them and been like, well, I got my first dunk, I just don't really care much for them. So one day maybe I'll get a pair, but honestly, when it comes to dunks, though, I'm kind of over caring. I never cared really before, but I just kind of feel like, oh, maybe I should get a pair to see what all the hype is about, what all the fuss is about, all that stuff. But they keep putting out these ones that just look bad. I'm like, and it just turns me away, you know? Like this one, the carpet company things. Like, I don't like anything about these either. I just look at them and I think, what is this? Right? What is this? Now, I'm sure a lot of people were into them, right, for their own reasons. Sometimes some people just like the way the colors are, or maybe some people like the whole carpet company, whatever that is. No. Now this one though, this one's fine. This one gets a pass, right? It's not like, oh man, I gotta have it. But as far as colors go, I kind of like that, right? It's a good fall sort of thing. I feel like they probably should have put these out in like September, maybe October. But just looking at them here, I like the way the brown is on there. It just seems pretty all right. I think they maybe should have made the outsole not that light tan color. Maybe gone with one of those colors from the upper, any of the three, probably would have been fine. But overall, I can't complain. And maybe a different color on that midsole too, because the white, it wouldn't have been my choice if I was like in the design meeting or whatever. You know, I would have put my hand up and asked for if I could use my veto power or something like that. Let's see. All right, moving right along. The Syracuse Dunks, right? These,
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Okay, I don't know what this is all about. Yeah, I didn't really care for those things right there because they're not bad colors. It's just not a color combination for me. If that orange was there and you switch in, like maybe throw in a different color, not white. Yeah, okay, sure. I could see about that.
No problem.
But hold on a second. I don't know what this thing's doing. Yeah. Got a new iPod the other day because, you know, I'm an iPod guy. And I guess I activated something on there and she's like asking me questions. So anyways, yeah, they're not bad. But they're just not for me. That's their problem. These are fine though. These are okay. I put them in the same category as those Reeboks, those questions that I was showing like several slides ago. Those are fine. I wouldn't run out and get them and go out of my way for them because they're a little too plain for that. But if these were just kind of like readily available and, you know, I could just go to the store and say, okay, this would be one worth trying to get, you know, like in the olden days where all you had to do was really go to the store on like the release day and you'd probably be okay. Maybe even like that weekend. These, I don't remember what the name of this was. It is completely lost on me right now. But I will say that I don't like them at all. There's just too much stuff going on. Like when shoes do this little piecing together things and taking something from here, something from there, something from over there. No, I'm not a fan. So that's what happened here. And it just doesn't come out very well. At least not in my opinion. I don't know what anybody else thinks. Okay, no opinions there. I get I'm probably moving through these relatively quickly. But, you know, I'm also not trying to drag this out all day, right? Usually these things take longer, but that's just because there are other people here and like they're sharing their opinions, kind of do a little back and forth in there. It's not today, though. Not because they weren't invited. Well, okay, I guess they weren't invited, but because they just aren't here. So this is another dunk. I want to say this might have been a women's release, and it looks fine. This is one that I could actually see myself going for. I might prefer the colors to be swapped, like, you know, so where like the darker color is, maybe that'd be like where the lighter color is. But overall, I can't complain about these. No markdowns for me this time around. So good on you, Nike. You got it right. This one, these brown and white ones, there's a bit of indifference going on for me. I don't dislike them. I don't like them. They're right there in the middle, and they look like they'd be okay. But this is one that, again, if this was like say this was a general release shoe, this is something that I would buy. Like if it was still in stock like a month later and the price had come down a bit so they can make room for the next wave, that's when I would buy something like this. You know, That's the way I try to look at certain things. And this one just wouldn't make the collection at all. But, you know, it was probably a women's release, so there is that aspect of it. But let's see. And that's it for the dunks, I believe. Yeah, there were a lot of dunks last month. I mean, it seemed like there were a lot of dunks every month. I don't know what the deal is. You would think that by now, with all these dunk releases, that people would kind of stop caring as much and maybe they become easier to get. But I think the problem is like they keep making them limited and throwing in attaching names and stuff to them, you know, like, oh, this is carpet company and this is something about Chinese food menus. And it's like, all right, just keep doing that then. If they got around to just making just here's this color, here's frost and black, here's green and blue or whatever, I think they'd be a little easier to come by. But I could be wrong too. These, I thought these had come out a while ago, but I did just see, I want to say it was an email from like DTLR or Hibbit, some one of those, and they were showing these off saying, hey, these are coming out this weekend, or these just came out, whatever it was. This is one that had I been paying more attention, I probably would have gone for, because I do like the glow in the dark thing of it. And on this one, that upper that I didn't like before, it seems to work fine. So this is one that I could have actually seen myself going for, but you know, when you don't pay attention to releases, I mean, you kind of only have yourself to blame. And then this pair of foams came out in like October, November or something, because I remember seeing them in Foot Locker here, but they just hit Nike last month. So I don't know what the deal is with that, but they also sold out pretty quick. So that's good. It's good to see some foams getting some attention once in a while. But I will say though, I kind of was on the fence about them, and then I saw them, and there was, I can't remember what it was, but something about them in person I didn't really care for. Hey, the Overlord, what's good, man? What's goody, he says. So, hello to you too. What's going on? Appreciate you stopping in. Let me know if you have any thoughts on any of these shoes that we're kind of perusing through. So those, yeah, it might have been something, I think it was something that was on the tongue. I think it has like some extra colors on there or something. Something about those foams I just couldn't do. But I was all for these here Prestos though, because if you know me, you may know that I'm a Presto guy. And so when these were coming around, I wanted them, and I ended up, I did overpay for them, I'll admit that, because I bought them from the same site that I bought those Scream Green Hirachis, and it was overseas, so I had to pay like $30 in shipping. But I did it with the peace of mind of knowing that this way I won't have to deal with whatever hassle could present itself when it's time to get these stateside. But in hindsight, people don't care about Prestos unless they're those Nigeria ones or Korea ones, because then everybody wants them. You never hear anybody talking about Nigeria or Korea, but let them get a shoe. These, the Bad Bunny something or others from Adidas. I am not a fan. I like the colors. If they had put this on just like a standard, let's see, maybe like a 5923 or a night jogger or something like that, or a day jogger, I guess. Yeah, then this would be worth considering. But I don't like shoes that have a lot of stuff. And this one's got like a buckle on the front. There's some kind of pull tab strap thing on the back. I don't know what's going on up there around like the ankle liner, sock liner area. Yeah, there's too much extra stuff happening here. You dumb it down a bit and keep those same colors, you can get a sale out of me. Now, these, the Futurecraft 4D OGs. Again, this was a Ryan Curtis let me know about these. He's like, hey man, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, whatever. Had a conversation. I don't remember what we said. But in the end, I was ready to try these out. And so I won through well, no, I didn't win. It's just the confirmed app had some glitches at first. Kind of made some people think they were sold out. They really weren't. You just had to kind of go back in there. So I went back in, got my size. That was it. He went in. He wasn't able to get his, but he did end up getting them through Undefeated, which is a website a lot of people forget about. And I got to say, these things are pretty nice. They are. What is this? This is a hardened something or other. Again, just kind of shedding a little bit of light on some other stuff. That's why these are in here. There's got to be a story behind these. These can't just have been made like just because. Because I just can't see why they would, unless it's like a combination of people involved or whatever. But again, story. I don't know what this thing is, why it looks the way it looks. I mean, maybe the normal colorways are fine, but I don't know what's going on here. But he could have kept that to himself. And then the Nice Kicks Ultra 4Ds. Pretty nice, pretty decent shoe. Oh, wait, hold on. Peace, dude. My first live, I got those 4Ds. They look so. Okay, I kind of didn't read that right, but I mean, maybe like slip a period or something in there next time because it kind of threw me off. I wasn't sure where to like stop. But yeah, cool. Thanks. Yeah, so these are pretty nice. The only thing that kind of holds them back, in my opinion, is just the way the upper is, because it's made like the Woodstock Ultra Boost. So it doesn't give you that same feeling like a standard Ultra Boost would, right? Upper wise, I get that the midsole is different, but I'm just talking about the upper. But that 4D is feeling a lot better than it did on the past releases. And then these pink human racers, Nmds, these might not be as bad as your average Nmd, because I do like the XR1 style, and this looks a lot like those. But it's still an Nmd, and that just makes me not want it. It's also very pink. I got no problem with like pink shoes or whatever, but this is a shade that I don't want. And then moving right along, we got these here, the 424 Arsenal Ultra Boost 21s. These are pretty nice. They got some decent compliments or whatever in the YouTube world when I put that video up and all that stuff. So that's cool. Seems like a lot of people are soccer fans and actually want these. Probably mostly like England people, I assume. Because, I mean, from what a lot of them were saying, they seemed to be. I don't know how popular either of those things are in the States, but, you know, it still has a decent color to it. That black and red really just looks great on those. On the opposite end of the spectrum, as far as not looking so great, you had these, the Ultra Boost CC. I forget what that stands for. It was like climb a something or other. Oh my goodness. Like, something about the way this shoe looks is just sad. I'll try a pair out when they hit, some sale prices, but I'm not giving anybody $180 for that. I'm gonna have to wait on those. But I've got plenty of other stuff already, so no hurry. And then finishing things off, the last thing on the list here is the ZX8000, which is actually a shoe that I wanted and was able to put my order in. They're basically the same as the slides that I have on right now. Just this is the slide version, and those obviously being the shoe version. So I'll probably have to try those out at some point. But for now, I'm just gonna have to wait and see, But hopefully they're worth it, because again, I kind of wanted them when I did this slide review, just so I could kind of have that little set. But I've never really heard anybody talk much of them, so I have no idea what I'm getting into with these ZX8000s. If anybody out there happens to have any sort of opinion on those, please go ahead, let me know, because I'm kind of curious. Oh, okay? The Trap House got some of those. Also, go look them up on YouTube. They've got a sneaker battle tournament coming around, and they got some good stuff that they're going to be giving out if you win. I'll let you find that out by checking out their channel directly. You know what I mean? I'm going to give all the information way up front. You got to work for some of it. But yes, so yeah, I'm going to have to try out these ZX8000s. I like the look of them. The comfort, it's probably there. They look like they're not going to be bad. So they'll probably feel like, what was that? I wore something the other day. I can't think of what it was now. Where it wasn't like the most comfortable thing in the world, but it was pretty decent. And I feel like these will be in that territory. Can't think of what it was though. Something I had on the other day. It's probably a picture on Instagram or something. But let's go ahead and get this thing wrapped up so we can all move on. So we can stop sharing that. Oh yeah, no problem, man. Trap house. Oh yeah, yeah. And I'd like to let people know when things are going on, because again, you got some good stuff going on over there. So if people want to get involved, which they're going to want to get involved, gotta let them know. So again, the Trap House on YouTube and on Instagram. So now, real quick, gonna go over not all the shoes that I got last month, but just a couple of them. So in not any particular order. Oh shoot, let me move this around so I can see what's going on here. So first up, like I was saying before, the Futurecraft 4Ds. These, I was again very surprised at how much I liked them. The way they did the upper on here, you can kind of tell it's got a lot more of a Clima sort of build to it, you know, as far as the breathability. So the way they did the upper on here, very nice. And I kind of want to give these the edge over the standard Ultra 4Ds. Like if you saw the Oreo review that I did, that style. Yeah, these are feeling very nice, very nice. And now that they don't cost like, I think the original retail was like in the 300 range or something like that, 250 maybe. Now that these are a little cheaper and a little easier to come by, they're definitely worth considering. And let's see. Oh, hey, BX. What's going on, man? Appreciate you stopping in. And I think I mentioned these a little earlier. The Scream Green Hirachis. This was one of those ones, again, I may have overpaid for them because I had to order them from overseas. And when I say overseas, I mean from like, was it End? Sneakers and no, not Sneakers and Stuff. I don't know. One of those types of web pages, not like the counterfeit overseas sites. I don't deal with that. But these, yeah. So I ended up paying like the normal retail price plus $30 for shipping. So not bad, but if these come out in the States and aren't a sought after item, then I'll feel bad. But the thing about this, and you can't quite tell in here, that's why you should probably scroll through the review. The quality of the materials on these things is insane. Like I tell you, man, like there's some good close-ups in the actual review. So even if you don't watch the whole thing, just like scroll through the first like a couple minutes of it, you know, wherever the review actually starts, and you'll see all the close-ups and all that good stuff. And then maybe you can watch the on feet. That might be okay too. But again, the review portion is where all the close-up shots are. Slow-mo Roboto, what's going on? Nino Santos, hello to you too. I mentioned these earlier. The Evolution of Icons 97s. Actually, was this month? This might have been like the previous month. I'm not really sure. I had them in the same pile though. And just going off of when I did the review, I assumed that this was a March release. But either way, these right here, I like these. I like 97s. They got a little bit of a gradient thing going on in the midsole there. A little bit of color popping in on the inside. So not too bad. And a pretty colorful insole on there too, which you can kind of see from certain angles. But it's not often that I see a pair of 97s that I like. So I figured, you know what? Let's go ahead and jump on these. And now, last but certainly not least, we have a pair that definitely did not come out last month, but this will be the Vapormax 360. Now this one I did buy from StockX. And the thing about it is that I wanted this pair for a long, long time because I had the original 360 in this colorway in 2006 or something like that. So for whatever reason, I just kind of kept putting off actually buying these until recently. And there's that little StockX thing. So that's where I got those from for sure. But yeah, so I kind of put off getting these, and then they were at a pretty decent price and somebody accepted my bid, and now here we are. Let's see, BX says, I need those Hirachis. Yeah, you should totally get those, man. Like, I mean, I would definitely put in the effort when that time comes. You could go the route that I went, pay a little bit more, or you can not and wait. You know, that's up to you, I suppose. Overseas, not across the water. Yeah, see, minor difference in there. Also, while we're here, so I can save some time and some reviews later, I'm gonna do a couple unboxings with you guys real quick. So make sure to like hide my address and all. Like, check this out. I got a knife now. I'm living in the fast lane thanks to Adidas. Thanks to BX. I don't know why I said Adidas. Thanks to BX, I have this knife now. So things are good. Try not to like cut the box. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So this Asics Tiger, that's what's on, Asics Tiger. I'm sure some of you guys, Logan J is probably familiar with these boxes. I'm sure I don't know how many pairs of Asics he has, but I'm sure he's got a good amount. Wow, these are feeling pretty good. It kind of has like a bit of a crocodile sort of thing going on as far as like the texture and all that stuff. So hopefully that's coming out in the camera. We'll see. Looks like it kind of is. So this is a Gel Light 3, right? It's just not as, I don't know, runner styled as the other ones. Got the nice split tongue down the middle there, all that good stuff. So yeah, these, and man, this toe box is crazy soft over here, man. Like, I don't know, like, probably not really seeing it so much, but whenever I get the review done, these things, then you'll be able to appreciate what I'm seeing. But these things are looking very nice. And they're only like $70. They were marked down for whatever reason. So I picked these up and have no regrets whatsoever. So there's that one. Set that over here. Get two more to get through here. Hey, Alias, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming around. Same with everybody else out there. I mean, you guys could be doing any of a million things right now, but you are opting to give me some of your time, whether you're here for a few minutes or the whole thing. I am fine with any of it. So thank you for that. It's greatly appreciated. Now another Asics box, just different. Oh man, this one has been through a lot. That's cool. And this one is also a Gel Light 3. It's one of those things where you see stuff and you're a little indecisive on which ones you want. But these have some pretty decent suede down here around the toe box area, maybe more so on this side. You got that whole thing going on, right? So that's pretty good. No complaints there. This very plush feeling. I like this little neoprene situation going on up at the top. These things here are very nice. This green and yellow is working out pretty well. It's working out pretty well. So good on you guys, Asics. You guys are doing all right for yourselves. And overall, the Gel Light 3, I have said in the past that I'm a big fan of these, and I'm going to stand by that, which is why I bought two other pair. And I have two other pair that will be in the mail, or that will be arriving through the mail Tuesday, maybe. So expect a lot of Gel Light 3 reviews coming in the next couple weeks. Well, coming in the next week, something like that. And then one last big old box here. I don't know why this box is like as big as it is, but we'll see. This tape, sometimes they really want to make sure stuff is like, secured, and I get that. But then it makes a bunch of noise when I'm doing these unboxings, and that's not great. Is this even the right box? Okay, well, so let's see here. We're gonna do a quick comparison so you guys can see what I'm seeing, right? So this is a size 9.5 box. What was in this? The 97s? The 97s, 9.5 box, right? This also a 9.5 box. See that? Big difference, right? Kind of crazy. This thing's huge for no reason, apparently. So I'm wondering what's going on with that, because there's no way this was the original box these things came in. But you know, I'm just gonna go with it. It's one of those GOAT purchases, so you know, results may vary. What is this? Yeah, it's got like a little goat sticker in there. So what I'm thinking is they probably just threw these in a box and slapped that sticker on there, because again, why would these come in a box so large? But anyways, this right here, this is the Air Max 97 winter utility, right? For anybody that knows me, knows again that I like my 97s. They also know that I like my winter utility shoes, because when it's raining, these are good things to have. So they're super durable, right? So whatever you're going to be in. And they got the 3M, which is cool. They also have a second set of 3M laces over there, so that's kind of a nice touch. But this right here, I wanted these a long time ago, 2019 to be exact. And I saw them go on sale, and then I just waited for some reason, or maybe I forgot, and then eventually they were gone. But somebody accepted my bid of like $100 and something, maybe 110, I want to say. Retail is 160, so I figured 110 should be okay. We'll do 110. And they accepted it, so all in all, 125 or something dollars later, here we are. So I like them. They came out pretty nice. I do have these also in gray and green, like a Volt green. But, you know, I wanted these two, and now I have them too. So, bam, cross that off the list. All right. Let's see. What else? What am I looking at? Did I miss anything in here? Let's see. Because I see there's some comments and stuff. I was showing all things. So it's a gum outsole. I'm feeling. And that's a great price. BX is multitasking. Multitasking is a fancy way of saying not paying attention. Remember that. Now, let's see. You know, I was looking at these, the green and yellow pair added in the card glass. Oh, okay, see? Logan J. I told you he's an Asics guy, too. Has anyone bought the recycled wool Air Max 90s white? I don't know. I can honestly say that I have not. Mostly everything that I've bought is on the channel in some way, shape, or form. Minus, obviously, these three things that I just unboxed. But actually, no, because now they are on the channel. So there's that. And later today, those, what is it, some Air Max 2 lights and some Vapormax 20s will be going up probably tomorrow, like I said. But yeah, so that's it. That's it for me. But if anybody happens to have, before I go closing this thing out and moving on with the rest of my day, which is basically going to be sitting around editing and finishing up episodes of The Flash, if anybody has any questions for me or whatever, you know, you can throw those out. I'm here. That's why I like doing the lives, because then I can actually just kind of sit back and talk to people without having to actually just talk while people listen and then comment later. I like the real-time situation going on here. It just makes things a little bit more interactive. Well, a lot bit more interactive. So if you happen to have anything you want to throw out there at me, please. This is your time to do that. But if people are good and they just kind of are done paying attention to me, I get that too. And we can all just kind of move on from here. Because it's, what is it, 2 in the afternoon? Yeah, that gives me enough time to finish up the things that I might want to finish up, and still have some time to just kind of sit around and be lazy, you know? What is that? BX is saying, I don't understand what BX is saying. He's, and A-List is saying, like, that's the only reason he goes live is just to tap in with the people, which is good, right? Because, I mean, I do that same thing on Instagram from time to time. People will come in and sometimes we'll have some random conversations about whatever. And sometimes it'll be like kind of on a topic. Other times it just jumps and jumps and jumps. And I was doing a live here on YouTube a while ago, and the initial topic was some release from that day. But next thing you know, me and this whole different people just kind of rotating through, and we just kind of were all talking about all kinds of stuff, you know? I think Jeezy was in there talking about like the best chicken places in New Orleans, it's something like that, and 313 was in there talking about something about Detroit, and that, you know, we were just moving from topic to topic, just talking about whatever, which is pretty nice, you know, because like I was saying before, I can sit around and talk about shoes all day, but I don't want to. Like, not at all. Let's see. No, I don't even. That was one of the first ones on the list, the 90 Bacons. No, I didn't like them. I saw those and I was just like, no, I didn't put forth any effort to even attempt to get them for like maybe to trade them or anything. I was just hard pass on that one. But that's just me. That's just me though. Because I was like, and which brings me to a point that I'll throw out here, and maybe somebody will agree, maybe you guys will disagree. That's what the comment section is for. Air Max month, Air Max day, whatever. This year, bit underwhelming. I made a post about that somewhere on Instagram. Forget what shoes I was wearing on that day. The Dynamic Berry Air Max 1s. That's what it was, from the 2017 Air Max Day release. Air Max Day this year was a bit of a letdown. There was, the whole month in general was a letdown. Past months, there would be a few, past years, there'd be a few things throughout the month that kind of had my attention. Maybe they were all going to come out at the same time, or whatever the situation was. Maybe they just spread out. But in the past, it actually stood for something. This year, going into it, I was thinking, okay, well, maybe they'll bring out the Vapormax 21s or something. No, they didn't even do that. They just threw a bunch of 90s out there that I didn't care for. So I don't think I bought a single Air Max last month that came out last month. I mean, those Vapormax 360s, sure, I bought those, but those were both old releases. But yeah, it was just such an underwhelming month as far as Air Max things go. Do they last for everyday use? It depends on what you do with them every day, because your mileage may vary. If you treat them like a normal person, you'll be fine. Are you a normal person? That's my question. So, yeah. And Alias is saying that Air Max March was trash. Yeah. So it's just weird. Air Max Day was virtual. No, I'm not buying that. Air Max Day was trash because it was bad. Alias had it right the first time. Don't try to correct it. Don't try to make up for it and throw in these little excuses. All right. This whole COVID thing. Yeah, we've been living with this for a while now. It's not an excuse anymore. I mean, sometimes maybe, but in this case, they've had ample time to realize, like, okay, we need to start things earlier because they now take longer, right? That's all it is. In the past, maybe you can start doing your Air Max month activities in January. They probably learned last year over the summer, like, things are going to take a little longer nowadays. Tito's Kicks, what's going on, man? And Chilltown, hello to you too. He's going to be on Who Has the Heat again in a couple weeks or something like that. I don't know what their brackets are looking like. Let's see, they just re-released a bunch of OG colorways. Oh, yeah, okay, I didn't see that. Those Ridge Rocks, what? Oh, okay, yeah, I remember you commented last night on the Air Max 1 collection video. So, yeah, I don't know if you watched all the videos from that day, but if you didn't, there's 8 more Air Max collections. For those who don't know, last year for Air Max Day, I I showed off my whole Air Max collection, right? So I think the first video was the Air Max 1s, then there was probably the Air Max 90s, then the 97s, then the Pluses, then it probably would have been the other things like the Air Max 2 Lights and the 98s and stuff like that. After that was probably the 360 through 2009, and then I think the 2010 through 2017, and then the Vapormaxes. Either way, it amounted up to 9 or 8 separate videos, which took a long time to do. Apparently, I have a lot of Air Maxes. Who knew? Let's see. Yeah, believe me, like when you're trying to go through like 100 shoes or something, the chitter chatter, I'll save that for my other collection videos. If you watch like my foam collection video, I'll give you like a little bit of a story for each one I pull out. If you watch my 350 collection video, same sort of situation. But that one, I wasn't trying to be there all day. And I know people aren't trying to watch all day. You know what I mean? Let's see. Favorite Air Max for you, the Air Max 90. For me, it fluctuates based on the day, but the one, the Plus, the 97, the 2009, and the 2010 overall rank very high for me. The 360 obviously has a special place because it's the first one I bought, sure. But as far as overall looks and comfort and whatnot, yeah, it might go to the Plus for the overall. Yeah, it might go to the Plus for the overall. But yeah, ones, 97s, pluses, 2009s, and 2010s. Easily. Yeah, everything else is everything else. I mean, there's some other ones that are fine. Like I got a pair of 98s over here that I had out earlier for a review. The Air Max 2 Lite, that one it ranks pretty high for comfort, right? The look of it isn't great though, so it loses points there. The 2017 Air Max, I just had a pair of those on the other day. I had the Night Maroons on. Those, they're not bad, like comfort-wise. Like, they definitely made some good changes later as far as the upper goes, but the 2016 pair was personally better than those. A lot of them were better than those. They just felt a little stiff, but I could probably count on one hand how many times I've worn a pair of 2017s. So there is that aspect of it. And I could throw the Vapormaxes in there, but when it comes to certain things, sometimes I keep those separate. I do consider the Vapormax to be part of the Air Max line. I think a lot of people do. But when I think favorite Air Max, I go with like what has Air Max in the title, no technicalities. Let's see. Another question here. What was it? The Air Max 2090. The upper reminds me of the Vapormax 2019, which I was not a huge fan of, so I have not tried a pair yet. I keep telling myself I should, and as an Air Max guy, I feel like I will at some point. It's just so far right now, I haven't had enough inclination to actually go through with buying a pair because I look at them and I honestly haven't seen many that I even like. I could do the Nike ID thing, but I haven't seen a lot of 2090s that I even like. And I haven't heard anything like great about them as far as other people saying, everyone's like, yeah, they're not bad. You should try them out. Like that's what I hear from people, right? And that, I get it. I say the same thing a lot of the time. But that right there just makes me think just that. Like, okay, at some point, try them out. Now, when I say, and I don't like to oversell things, right? Because I don't want to like sway people's judgments and stuff. But when I say something like, if you like the Vapormax, you definitely got to try the Vapormax 2020. I'll stand by that because the Vapormax 2020 is like, that has so many improvements in it. So I'll stand by saying that, yes, you should definitely check those out. But when it comes to like, say, the Vapormax 2019, yeah, it's fine. I mean, the Vapormax thing isn't bad. Try them out, but let's see. The triple black 2090s. See, I'm not a triple black shoe guy. Like I have one pair. I have one pair of all black. Well, no, let me take that back. I did a review in late 2019 about a pair of Vapormax. What was it? It was I want to say it was the 20. It might have been a 2019 also. Yeah, it was a Vapormax 2019, and then like when you look on the side, it just says black, black, and black. But none of the blacks on there are black. It was like gray, light-ish gray, and like darker gray. It was like remember when the black static 350s came out and those weren't really black? They were just dark. It was like that, So like, this isn't black at all. It's like a smoke color. A Dornbecker 2090 would change people's opinions. I love the 2090, super comfortable. I doubt it. And I'm going to base that only on the fact that the Dornbecker. So let me rephrase this, right? Because I want to make sure I say this right. The political side, right? So the name alone, no. That is where I'm looking at this. The name alone will not be enough to just make something be cared about. I have a pair of Dornbecker Air Max Zeros. People don't care about the Air Max Zero. You got the Dornbecker name on there, doesn't mean a thing. Now, if they happen to make a decent colorway, the Dornbecker name will pull in the attention. Maybe the colorway will help sell it, and that little combination, that little perfect storm will work out in its favor. And then maybe the 2090 will find its way on the map. But it's a steep hill to climb, a lot to overcome. So I just feel like the 2090 getting popular is an uphill battle, and it's going to take a good bit. So again, maybe I'm wrong on that. And honestly, I would hope that I'm wrong on that. But that's because I'm an Air Max guy and I want them all to do well. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like that's going to be one of those ones that was just a misstep, and they'll just eventually accept that because it happens, right? There are certain Air Maxes that, personal opinion, I have, like the 720s. Not a fan. Something about it just not right. The 270, I'm not going to talk bad of the 270, but it's far from a favorite. You know. Let's see. Only triple black pair I got in is Hirachis. I've been seeing a lot of. It seems like there's a triple black Hirachi, an all red Hirachi, and I think it's an all white Hirachi that I keep seeing in stores. But yeah, past those spring greens, like, did I put those back in the box? Yeah, past the spring greens and those, what was that, dark oak or something like that. I haven't really seen a whole lot of Hirachis popping up lately, and it's weird because like when they do pop up, it's something like this where it's not just your normal colorway. It's not just your standard release. You know, they even have like this limited style paper going on in here. You see that? It's like limited on there, so it's special. I haven't been able to walk into a finish line or something and just see, oh, where are your new Hirachis? You know, like it's 2016. But I mean, I do have a fair amount of Hirachis, right? A lot of summer and spring type colors. I've done the Hirachi collection review thing. That was towards the end of the summer. I want to say it was like just after the summer ended because I think it was a little late to get that one out. Let's see, Seahawk Hirachi. Yeah, you know what? I guess they are. I didn't even really think about that because I'm not a sports guy. So I mean, unless it's like a wrestler or something, I don't really associate anything with any team. Like when I got those dark Concord 12s, I look at those and I think Undertaker, right? Some people might think some other sports team or something. I don't know. G-Fish, hello to you too. He says, Ayo 757. Yeah, man. Since not since birth, but for a long time, off and on over the years. Let's see, pre-day. I'm confident. But yeah, it'd be nice to see more Hirachis though. It really would, because Hirachis and Prestos, like I was saying last year in my like summer shoe collection videos, yeah, they're both great summer shoes. You know, they're lightweight. You can wear them all day, be comfortable. They usually come in enough colorways to match up with whatever it is you might be wearing if you're into matching your shoes and stuff. Yeah, like they're both great shoes, but when they started the Presto kind of died down around when like not long before the React Prestos came out, right? And so I figured, okay, well, I was thinking maybe if they're doing React Prestos, if they do a React Hirachi, that could be pretty awesome. Because I'm thinking like this already has like a React vibe to it with like that chunky midsole and everything. But if they threw the React on here and kept all this the same, that could be I won't necessarily say it's a game changer, but it would be definitely something to consider because these are already really comfortable. You throw that React on there, it's going to be that much better. But then they never did it. So they did all kinds of other React things. They did React Jordan 1s that nobody asked for. They did React Air Force 1s also that nobody asked for. Isn't there a React like a Jordan 11? No, or maybe that's just like the comfy something Jordan 11, the comfort release. I don't know if that's React in there or not, but they did something to the Jordan 11. It was weird. I wasn't sure how I felt about it. Let's see, pre-day max. I have no idea what the pre-day max is, honestly. This is my first time like seeing that name or whatever. Let's see. Is it pre-day Air Max? Oh, okay. You know what? I actually just saw a picture of these when I was doing the recap thing. When I was getting the pictures earlier today. Something about what's going on the back end kind of throws me off, because that I don't like. I don't like what's going on the sole there. Let me see. I'll just pull up a picture. That way everybody can see it. See what I'm looking at, right? Let's go ahead and get this tab shared. So these, click over here on the images. Yeah, like what's going on the back end, I'm just not really like a big fan of that. Like this area here and that area there, I don't know what it is, but I mean, maybe in person it's not so bad, but just looking at it right now, I'm not a fan of that. Because again, like I was saying before, when we were talking about the Bad Bunny Adidas brown shoe, it had a lot of stuff happening, and I just it's kind of like, nah, I don't know about all that. Yeah, so I guess I don't know what that tab is on the back. It's like, it doesn't need to be there, and I probably wouldn't have thought much of it if that little piece on the heel wasn't already there. So yeah, I just don't like how it comes out on the back end. But past that, I mean, it doesn't seem bad. It almost reminds me like one of those daybreaks or something like that, you know, kind of like a sort of a minimalist upper. But yeah, man, that one is probably not for me. Let's see. So we need you to do a review. I just did the review. You just saw it. Like that was it. That was the review right there. So let's see. It's supposed to be like a spring effect in the rear. Oh, what? See, I'm not into gimmicky things, right? Like I don't want. Now I get if you redo the torsion system and then like, so like say the Ultra Boost 21, right? They redid the torsion system where they took out that block that you normally find in the Ultra Boost of previous years, and they replaced that plate to where it's more of a fluid movement between the back and the forefoot, right? So that way when you're running, it just gives you that nice fluid motion. So when they retool things in that way, I'm all for it. When you just throw in some springy stuff back there, I don't want that. But again, if you take like say like the Pegasus 35 Turbo, you just kind of carve that thing out and make it in the right way. I get that it has that weird little pointy heel thing, but I chalk that up to being part of the design because it's two layers of midsoles. Like there's a React on the bottom and Zoom on the top. So that's part of the way to make them both stay together, right? So I kind of get that. But yeah. So that was my review of what's that thing called? The Air Max pre-day? Yeah. Yeah, that's well, yeah, unless those hit some rock bottom prices or something, or yeah, because even as a running shoe, right? Like I have my preference for what I like to run in, right? And I don't know that these would replace that because they look like they wouldn't have all the lockdown that I want in a shoe, you know, like how do I have a pair out? I do not. Like how the Nikes generally have like the fly wire or something on the side, or you know, the Ultra Boost 19s have those strips across the front of your feet. Those look like they'd be too loose for me to want to run in. They look like it'd be like running in an Air Max 1, you know, which is a running shoe, right? Nobody's going to argue that. But, give me orange or yellow. Let's see, Foot Locker on the What? I'm not sure what G-Fish was talking about. I don't know. Are there some 5s coming out this week or something? Those would strictly for comfort days. Yeah, see, like those. Yeah, I'm sure they're comfortable to walk around in. I would assume. But again, it's like if all I'm looking for is like a comfortable shoe just to walk around in, something like this, that's fine for me, right? It's a lot cheaper, it's more accessible, generally speaking. Get like a Presto, get any of the React line, something that's always on sale, something that has proven to be effective. I'd go that route personally, right? Because when I look at those, it's like, what's the retail of the pre-day though? Let's find that out. Because there's a Nike link here from March. So looking for, and of course there's no $ in here anywhere because they don't want to tell you what it costs. So that's not fair. And I do see like one of the next things like, oh, the Nike Air Max Pre-Day will put a spring in your step. Like, I don't want that. I mean, maybe I'm just old fashioned, you know what I'm saying? But, well, if you don't, let's see. Where was I? Kind of lost track here. Conway, strip of comfort. What do you think of the EQT 9317s? I do not have any 9317s, so I don't know what to tell you about that. I think that's the thing that I had for maybe a day and then returned them because I didn't really like the look as much in person, or maybe like it was the color, something like that. But I never really wore a pair to make an opinion on them. I love Prestos, yet don't have any. Yeah, man, you got to get a pair of Prestos, man. Well, I don't say you got to get a pair, but they're pretty good. They're pretty good. And since they're often cheap, that's a plus. Like that rainbow pair, I don't have it out with me because I chose not to pull that one. But that rainbow pair that's on Nike.com right now, those are just sitting there waiting on you for 130. They could be yours. And I paid the extra bit for that shipping from, man, where did I get those from? It wasn't End. I can't think of like what that website was. Wait, no, I bought these from the same place. So let's see, what was that? Slam Jam, that's what it was. Slam Jam. Bought them from Slam Jam because it was the same place I bought the Hirachis. Yeah, so I had to pay a little bit more, sure. That overseas shipping. But the overseas shipping has consistently been faster than within the States shipping. So that's crazy. Oh, and thanks for the donation there, that $2.99. I do appreciate it. The Raging Bulls 5s. Oh, is that this weekend? I mean, I saw people talking about them, but I stay on the outskirts of sneaker news, like deep on the outskirts, like Mad Max territory, like away from the waterfall. But anyways, let's see. We'd like to see. You are the only person that wants to see that. You see, no one else is saying that, right? BX. Let's see. I'll say so. Maxwell says he paid 130. Yeah, that's not bad for like a shoe that you're just getting for comfort. But again, I liken those to the Joyride. Remember the Joyride had the little beads in the bottom of it or whatever, the little pebbles, right? I don't remember what the selling point was for why they tried to do that. I remember putting a pair on and thinking, this feels awkward and unnecessary. But I didn't dislike it. I just didn't see a reason for it to exist. Let's see, you got to have one pair of Prestos and Hirachis in every collection. And I got Prestos and Hirachis for days. Like, let's see, what's that stack? Isn't that the Hirachi stack? No, I got 2 stacks of Prestos over there because I forgot that first stack is when they were coming in like the thin boxes, and then some of them came in like larger size, normal size boxes. Not as big as this monstrosity that they sent these here in, which I still don't quite understand, and honestly kind of makes me. I'm not going to say that turns me off of buying shoes from them, but it makes me more inclined to just buy stuff from the normal retailers. I'll say that. So, also, speaking of that, I need to get those other. There's a green and yellow pair of these Hirachis that I kind of feel like I need to get now. So I have to see where those are in stock, if anywhere else still. But given, again, how things went with the goat thing, I mean, these are newer, so it might go a little smoother, not end up with some awkward box. But I might also just be a little more open to paying extra from the overseas retailers than paying cheaper from GOAT. You know, sometimes it's like shopping at Target instead of Walmart. You know, you're gonna spend a little bit more, and you might get the same actual product, but it's gonna be a better experience. So that's how I feel. That's why I go to Target lots of the time. Let's see. You are definitely Professor Presto. McFly wants to see. McFly, no, don't even go pulling him into this. Oh well. But all right, hey, I'm gonna get going here. I appreciate you guys stopping in and all this. It was good to sit back and talk to some people for a while now that I've kind of done with my little hiatus on the YouTubes. I'm probably behind on a bunch of people's videos because when I take a break from the YouTube thing, I'll still watch my wrestling podcast friends or whatever, but I don't watch any shoe stuff. So I haven't seen a shoe video since, I don't know, it's been a little while. Whatever day I last put up a video, that was the last day that I was active on that end of the spectrum. So there's probably a lot of stuff out there that I should eventually try to catch up on. So I'm probably going to do that, maybe not today, but possibly tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. The night's still young, people. For now, from me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest your night, whatever it is, wherever you are, which I'm pretty sure is daytime because I think you're all here in the States, right? But anyways, it's just a thing that I say. So there's that for you. Again, for now, we'll cross paths later. I'm very sure of it. But for now, later, people. Thanks for coming around. I super appreciate it every time. Just in case you didn't know, wanted to make sure I said it one more time.